Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. This is another episode where we're going to discuss something that we talked about in the past, which is school safety and what's the responsible way for us to keep our schools safe. And let's boil it down to it. It's not just the schools we want safe. We want our children to remain safe. So shout out to James, a friend of the channel, who sent me this video. And there's a bill being considered that will allow schools to arm teachers. So we're going to look at it, and I think it's a very interesting concept, and I'm going to add some commentary to it, but let's just look at it and let's give it a shot. Let's go. I agree 100%. All right, so I have no problem with this bill. I have some questions I'm going to ask toward the end, or I'll ruminate when he actually starts reading some of the highlights of the bill. And I'm going to leave the bill down in the description, as well as this channel's link down in the description as well. So let's go.
It's awesome. I'm going to show you some of the quotes by the gentleman who submitted it, as well as some immediate co-sponsors. First, from Congressman Andy Ogles out of Tennessee, who submitted the bill. He said, the TEACH Act would harden schools by allowing teachers and school staff the option to participate in defensive training programs aimed at protecting schools and their children. Right now, Education Secretary Cardona has a personal slush fund of over $27.5 million. Instead of using that money to advance the left's indoctrination campaign, we should work to ensure that our kids are safe from armed intruders. We will never be able to ban the intentions of evil people, but we can allow responsible men and women of goodwill to equip themselves in order to stop bad actors in their tracks. This bill would help make our students, educators, and classrooms safer. Now, right out of the chute, there were 11 co-sponsors to the bill. Lauren Boebert, Ronnie Jackson, Paul Gosar, Andy Biggs, Mike Cloud, Troy Nels, Alex Mooney, Barry Moore, Mark Amodi, Nevada, Andrew Clyde, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Also, Gun Owners of America is supporting this bigly. Let me give me three more quick quotes, and then we'll go into the bill. Congressman Andy Biggs said, the Democrat approach to gun violence in schools has repeatedly failed and infringed on our Second Amendment rights. Hardening American schools is an effective first step to keep our children safe from armed intruders and does not penalize law-abiding gun owners. I applaud Congressman Ogle's latest legislation that allows us to better harden schools and protect our children from gun violence. Lauren Boebert said, in 2021, 49% of all active shooters were stopped by armed civilians. If Congress is serious about preventing school shootings, it needs to harden schools, allow teachers to take self-defense training, and modernize school firearm policies when over half of the states recognize constitutional carry. Protecting the Second Amendment is the most effective way to prevent violence in our communities and to stop school shootings. Gun-free zones are dangerous since they create vulnerable targets. Republicans need to defeat the myth that gun control is the solution to school shootings, and we need to show that we are serious about protecting the Second Amendment while also protecting students from evil murderers. And one more quote from Aiden Johnston of Gun Owners of America. My buddy Aiden said, GOA is proud to endorse the legislation from Rep. Ogles. At GOA, we've been championing the need to harden schools, which comes in many forms. Whether it's arming willing teachers or empowering parents, these policies play a major role in deterring violence at schools. There's a reason that no school shooting has occurred at a school with armed teachers, and Rep. Ogle's legislation will play a critical role in hardening schools by creating a pool of federal funds to train willing teachers and modernize school firearm policies at a time when over half of the United States recognizes constitutional carry. Let's jump into the bill itself. It's going to be called the TEACH Act, which stands for Teachers Empowered Against Classroom Harm Act of 2023. Some quick sections of it. They want to eliminate barriers between willing school staff and their right to defend the students. They're going to do that by eliminating prohibitions on training teachers with effective defensive tools, in Part A here. And then in Part B, they're going to prioritize funding for schools that protect students. There's a section here about respecting the right to constitutionally carry a firearm as protected by a majority of these United States. And in the section for helping willing staff and schools defend students from armed intruders, there's a grant program for school safety, which can be used to cover the cost of instructor and program fees, training supplies, and educational materials. Now, I'll have
idea. I have zero problem with that idea. I think guns in schools will make schools more safe. I do believe that. Again, as I've said on many occasions, I don't believe that teachers should be tasked with that chore. However, you have trained professionals in the form of military as well as law enforcement, even first responders, that are probably more than willing to do this as a job. In a moment, they're going to actually talk about how much they're going to pay them. Wait till you see. I'm sorry, I still stand by that. But let us continue. So I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to leave the full video link down below, as well as a link to the bill will be listed down below as well. Listen, I got no problem with, again, I think teachers should be trained on how to properly handle a shooting event in their school. Absolutely. I think teachers should take self-defense. I think that those things are all very, very good things to help teachers as a whole, as well as protect our students and our children. No problem, no question there. I'm only concerned with the idea. First of all, I don't think that this bill is actually meant to help. And later on, they talk about how much they were talking about paying. They're actually giving teachers an extra $25,000 to take courses, to take training, and to carry. So my question is, that means, let's say there's 10 teachers in a building. That's $250,000. So you mean to tell me you could not just hire former law enforcement officers, former military, in order to do that? You couldn't hire 3 trained professionals to handle that. You got to ask Miss Bumblebee and Miss Ladybug down on first grade and second grade hall to take on this responsibility. There's going to be insurance questions, ammo questions. Where's the gun going to be? What happens when they go on a field trip? What about parent-teacher conferences? There are 1,000 different problems that are going to come up if you task a teacher to be responsible for that. Now, I'm not saying, again, it's the worst thing I've heard. It's not. And again, if it came down to it, I'm fine with it. However, if I had 10 solutions, this is probably going to be like number 8, maybe 7 or 8. Army teachers is probably low on the list for me. There's a ton of things you could do right off the bat that would definitely, in my opinion, lower cost, higher value solutions. Just hire, if you got that kind of money, if you got that kind of income and that kind of resources, hire real people who've already been trained at this to do this. That's not hard. And remove those dumb gun-free zone signs. That's it. I think if you hire former police officers who know the law, by the way, so they're already keen on what to look for. They already know how to look for somebody who's suspicious, so on and so forth. Because knowing that a school has no defense whatsoever makes it a target. Because, and before you jump in the chat, please tell me that you're okay with the fact that your bank has armed guards to protect your money. Jewelry stores, they have armed guards to protect jewelry, but your school doesn't. That's all. You don't see bank tellers being tasked to own guns and to defend themselves from robbery. You don't see jewelers being tasked with holding a gun and being able to protect him or herself against robbery. No, they have armed guards there. If you go to a jeweler, most of the time you have to have an appointment to go there. You can't just walk in. So, I mean, there's lots of different things that we can learn just from the jewelry industry that could probably be employed at schools and would fix, or at least add a layer of defense against some of these shenanigans. You're never going to make everything perfect. You're never going to make anything airtight without any problem. Never going to do that. And I've never said that. All I'm saying is that I don't think arming teachers is the best thing. Oh, and by the way, I don't believe that this bill is actually going to get anywhere. I think it's theater. I think it's theater. These Republicans, they know that people There's two different sides of this argument. So they're going to side with one side. The bill's going to get shot down, pun intended. The bill's going to flame out. And then they're going to just say, see those bad other people on the other side? They want your kids to be unsafe. They want your kids to be ruined. Vote for us. I'm sorry. I don't see this as anything else but theater. So if you like this video, please make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you think. What is your top 5 things that you think would keep a school safe? Maybe your top 5. And, let's keep it fair. Let's keep it reasonable. But what are your top 5 things that would provide safety for your local school, public or private, doesn't matter. What would it be? All right. I'm looking forward to hearing what you're going to say, and I'll see you down in the comments. Grace and peace.